Hello and welcome to my living room. We haven't been in a workshop in a while. It's been hard to plan out videos. But today we're going to do an unboxing. I'd like to start a new segment where I try out gear and guitars and instrument related stuff that basically the premise is going to be it's going to be intriguing or unusual, strange, different, and I would like to be the guinea pig to test these things out. These things may be things that you may have seen, have been intrigued by, but have not wanted to take the dive to do so. And I too have fallen into that category where I see a lot of things that I'm intrigued to try out that are a little bit pricey. So I'm spending my own money at this point, so I'd like to do it cheaply, obviously. I was perusing eBay one day and I stumbled upon this, and this was a guitar that I've been intrigued to try out for years, and it's always been a little pricey and couldn't justify spending the money to try something out. So I happened upon this particular instrument very cheaply, and being a luthier and a guitar repair tech, I am not scared of having to put a little work into something. So for that price point, I could justify doing a little bit of labor to get it up and running. Without further ado, let's get into the unboxing. I had this wonderful pieced together package sent to me. It looks like they pieced it together out of a cut-up box, so hopefully nothing is too damaged. I'm told it's in a case, so we'll see. But I should get my trusty box cutter out, and let's start unboxing. Now, this was wrapped up in saran wrap, but I removed that to take the shipping label off so that y'all can't see my address. So, we're going to try and carefully remove all this tape. Let's get her out of here. Alright, albeit a little beat up, but that's a pretty nice case. Alright, enough teaser. Let's take a look at what's inside. Here, I'll let you guys take a look first. Oh no, more cardboard. Great. Alright, let me put this down and pull this thing out. I think we're going to skip the box cutter at this point because I don't want to damage anything.
One eternity later.
Alright. Well, they get an award for the most packaging ever. Now, what we have here may, to you, look kind of like the Yamaha silent guitar. Now, this is not the Yamaha. This, to my understanding, is an unbranded one, but was designed much in regard to the design of that silent guitar. A little dusty, so it's going to need a little cleaning. Now, what I understand is that some of the electronics may not function, so I'm going to have to look into that regard. Definitely in tune. As you would expect with most shipped guitars, very much in tune. Now, if you haven't seen the Yamaha silent guitar, it is a acoustic by All Right, and it is designed to play with travel or to play for practicing, which is why it's got this chambered body. The difference between this one and the Yamaha one is obviously this was a private build. I'm not sure who the luthier was. Looks like it was very well constructed. But the distinct difference between this one and the Yamaha one is that the Yamaha one has all the controls channeled into the side of this main body piece. This one has all the controls on the pick guard here. I'm going to try and get that close up here so you can see those little knobs right there. Those are your tone and volume control. And then it's got a switch here, which I haven't played around with, so I obviously am not sure what it does. The other distinct difference between this one and the Yamaha one is that this one is actually 24 frets, which for an acoustic is not absolutely necessary, but I do love me a double octave instrument. And it's got these leather caps in the middle here, acting as electronic cavities. So I believe these pop up to get to the controls. And then the Yamaha one has removable wings, whereas this one doesn't. These are built in. So I guess before we get into the demo, let's plug it in and see if it actually works. Got my trusty Line 6 Amplify behind me. So we'll just, it's not tuned up, so we'll just see if the electronics actually function. Well, I'm getting sound. These controls seem to function the way they're supposed to. Well, this switch cuts off the sound. I was told that it was supposed to be able to be played with headphones, though I don't see a headphone jack. So my initial thought is it uses the same input jack here with a 1/4 inch connector for headphones. So with that, the electronics work, so that's good. That's a good start. I'm going to go clean this up, give it a setup, and mess around with the electronics a little bit, and then we'll do a demo. And we're back. I gave this thing a small setup. I tuned her up, cleaned it up, didn't do too much to it. I looked at the electronics, make sure everything is all set up so that we can do a sound test with this thing. Other than that, there are a handful of things that I would like to do to this thing other than what I have just done, but I'll get into that after the sound test. There's not much to go over. It's got very limited controls. It's just a tone, a volume, and then this switch I actually found out is a kill switch. It's wired in between the ground so that you can cut the sound off quickly, which for a live performance is actually a pretty nice thing to have, especially with how tight this pocket is for the controls. And without further ado, let's play around a little bit. We'll roll the tone back first, and then I'll roll it up, and we compare the two sounds. fun. Let's see what some distortion sounds like. About what you would expect from an acoustic. Alright, so am I happy with this purchase? Again, for how little I paid for it, I am more than happy with it. If nothing else, it's a cool looking guitar. I love the whole skeletal design, so having the frame but having it completely empty on the inside. I think it looks cool regardless. If I hadn't mentioned before, I'm pretty sure that this was a home build. I can't verify that for certain, but there are no markers anywhere as far as a maker for this in any way. One of the things that they missed was there's nowhere to plug in headphones. The keynote of the Yamaha was that it has a jack and a preamp on here where you can plug it in and play it without an amp. If I wanted to do the headphones with this thing, I'm required to have an amp with me and headphones in order to play it. So they kind of dropped the ball on that part. Can I add one later? Yeah, I definitely could. There is room in here to do so. It's a very simple setup. I really like the controls being hidden under this pickguard. I don't know why, but I like that tortoise pickguard, and I love that low profile for those knobs. Gives it a clean look, almost as if it's a quote-unquote real acoustic. One of the things I like better about this, again, is the 24 frets. Is it necessary? Absolutely not, but I like having the full range. A few things that I would like to redo on this. I noticed that if you look back here where the jack for the battery is and that pickup, it looks like he may have mounted it on with epoxy. I really don't like the look of that. It looks like the caulking that would be around your bathtub. And I just don't think that's a clean look. From the front you can't tell, so that's a bonus. I really like these leather caps for the cavities. It's an interesting choice, but I like it, and that's the whole point of this thing, is that it's interesting and unique. So all your control and electronic hardware is underneath this cap. So when you pull it back, that's where all the electronics is. Other things I would like to redo. The electronics are all hooked up in here, but it is a hot mess in there. So I would like to go back in there and clean up all the solders and everything, which I will be doing. There's no doubt about that. It bothers me enough to where I feel like I have to. Is it hooked together and playable? Yes, but it's real gnarly looking in there. I may add a preamp. We'll see. Again, I think it's a fun guitar regardless. The fretboard is a little scratched up, so I need to address that too and clean that up. And then there's a truss rod cover on here, but I can't figure out how to get it off, or if it even has a truss rod. The neck is straight, so I don't see any issue right now. But down the line, I feel as though I may want to address that at some point. As far as the frets go, they feel fine. There's a couple sharp ends right up here that you won't ever feel because your hand doesn't go there. So I'll give it a complete dressing at one point. As far as the height of the frets, there's no high frets on here that really deaden out any notes. So that's not too much of an issue. As far as what kind of wood it is, I can't say. I can tell you it's layered. There's a seam across the center of this body, but it may just be a plywood with a veneer on it. Same with these bent sides. It looks like they used a color tone on the edge here, which leads me to believe that it's plywood. Is that a problem to me? Not really. I think it functions just how it should. It's a fun guitar. Was it what I was expecting to get? No, I was expecting something closer to the Yamaha, but it does have that look of that Yamaha. So, am I happy with it? Yes, I'm very happy with it. I'll upgrade it. If you guys have ideas of upgrading it, let me know. I may just do it to it. It's got these nice Martin tuners on it, if nothing else, and they hold tune very well. Yeah, other than that, please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. I would love to keep this series going. If you have an idea of something interesting, unique, or just strange, be it gear, hardware, pickups, you name it, let me know. I may try them out. I've got a short list of things that I'd like to keep this series going with. And with that, I guess we'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye.